Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another daily dose of unstable spoilers. And we got a ton of cool cards and new mechanics to talk about today, which means we're going to jump right into it, starting off with a new mythic. Came out late yesterday, too late for our video, but it is a super sweet one. Baron von Count, 3 mana 3/3 legendary creature, so eligible for commander if your playgroup allows it. And it has a super sweet ability. Enters with 5 doom counters. Whenever you cast something with the correct number, so the number is a doom counter, you can move the doom counter to the left. So it'll go from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2, eventually to 1. Once the doom counter moves from 1, so you got to get it to 1. Cast something with 1 in the mana cost text box, power, or toughness, then you get to destroy target player. So you literally win the game in a 2-player game, or in a commander game, you can shoot down an opponent of your choosing, which is kind of reminiscent of one of the only target player loses the game cards. I think it is the only one in all of Magic, door to nothingness, and that is a super popular casual card. So I expect if Baron von Count is allowed in your playgroup, it will see a ton of play. It seems super powerful as a commander, pretty easy to build around to get the countdown to go down pretty quickly, kind of like some weird numbers matter version of Storm. And then you just get to kill people, and then the doom counter restarts back at 5, so you can do it again. You can potentially just win the game with Baron von Count all by itself. So I think this card is super spicy, one of the coolest and most unique cards we've seen from all of Unstable. Next on our list, we have maybe my favorite card previewed today, Better Than One. Obviously a reference to 2 heads are better than 1, or the format two-headed giant, because it basically allows you to turn your game of Magic into a two-headed giant game. It's like a wish card that lets you wish for a teammate. You get to choose a player outside the game and they become your teammate. You get to basically give them cards from your hand in your library and on the battlefield, and they join you on your team. So this is kind of like the old wish cycle. It reminds me most of Glittering Wish because of the colors, where you get to grab something from outside the game. But in this case, it's a player, and it's just such a cool, fun card. I imagine you playing a draft at your local game store. Things are going a little bit bad. You cast your Better Than One, grab one of your friends who might not be playing, have them join your side. Tons of card advantage. Just a really cool, fun, casual card. Next on our list, we have a card that was super confusing when it was first spoiled because we didn't really get an explanation for it. Dr. Julius Jumbled Morph, kind of a jumble of creature types. The best part of this entire card is not the 4 mana cost or the 4/4 body. It's the creature line, legendary creature. No creature type. That's because Dr. Julius Jumbled Morph is every creature type, even if it's not on the battlefield. So on level 1, you can use this in any of your tribal depths. Play it with your merfolk. It's a merfolk to get pumped by your lords. You need another dinosaur for your dinosaur deck. Throw in Dr. Julius Jumbled Morph. So it has lots of potential there thanks to being all creature types. However, it has another ability which is really strange. It says, whenever a host enters the battlefield under your control, you may search your library or graveyard for a card with Augment and combine it with the host if you search your library. That way you shuffle it. So when it first came out, we did not really know what Augment or host was, but then a few minutes later we found out. So this is a new mechanic, and it's another version of kind of combining 2 cards together. For example, we have Multi-Headed, which is an Augment card, and then we have Labrabot, which is a host. So the basic idea here is that you can combine a host with an Augment card. We can see on Multi-Headed, Augment is 5 mana, so you get to reveal this card from your hand and you combine it with a target host, for example, Labrabot, and then you end up with a Hydra Hound multi-headed bot, and it has an ability that combines together as well. Multi-headed says, at the beginning of your end step, if you rolled a die this turn, and for example, Labrabot says, return target host card with Augment from your graveyard to your hand when the creature enters the battlefield, or when you combine it together, it says, at the beginning of each end step, return target host card or a card with Augment from your graveyard to your hand if you rolled a die this turn. But it goes further than that because we have more hosts and more augmenters. For example, Monkey hyphen Adorable Kitten, smash them together, you have Monkey Kitten with the ability that says whenever a non-token creature you control dies, roll a 6-sided die, you gain life equal to the results. The sweet thing here is you can mix and match with your hosts and your augments. So we could have multi-headed Kitten at the beginning of your end step, roll a 6-sided die. If you do, gain life equal to the results if you roll the die this turn. Little confusing, but it does work. Or for example, we could have a Monkey Bot. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, return target host or card with Augment from your graveyard to your hand. So it seems like a super fun build-around mechanic. Does some really cool combination things, and you can even see that the art is designed in such a way where if you put the cards lined up where the line goes through the cards, it makes the names work right, it makes the art work right, so it's just a really awesome, cool, flavorful, love this mechanic. It is really sweet. One of the benefits of having sets like Unstable can do wacky, weird stuff like this. It just doesn't work in black bordered world, so super excited for that, and don't forget Dr. Julius Jumble Morph can kind of be the lord of your augment host deck because it has power to tutor up whatever you need. Next on our list we have By No Means, another nice pun in the name there, and this card seems really fun. So first off, you can pay 2 and a white to remove a counter from a permanent you control to make a 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature token, and then you can pay 1 and a white, sack an artifact. You can choose any kind of counter that's ever been printed on a card, and then you get to put one of those counters on target permanent, which means you can do some really sweet things. For example, it works with Ring of 3 Wishes. It's a way you can add a wish counter to your ring for more tutoring. You can add a +1/+1 counter to your Walking Ballista. You can add divinity counters to your Motion of Cleansing Fires. If you wanted to, you could add a divinity counter to your Ring of 3 Wishes, or a +1/+1 counter to your Motion of Cleansing Fire. The choice is yours. You can put a +1/+1 counter on your Ring of 3 Wishes if you want to. The possibilities are endless with By No Means. So I expect that this card will be really fun and really popular in casual play. People love artifact themes, they love counter themes, and this card just slots right into all of those spots. Next we have More is Less, and this card, I have no idea what you do with it. You get to add or subtract 1 or 1 from a number or number word on target spell or permanent until end of turn. So basically, you could cast this for 1 mana and make it so Heartless Summoning said creatures you cast cost 3 less to cast instead of 2 less to cast. Or I guess you could cast this to make Walking Ballista remove a counter to deal 2 damage instead of 1 damage. So there's tons of things you can do with it. I don't know what the most broken thing is. There's probably some really crazy combo where this just is absolutely busted. So if you have some ideas on how to break More is Less, make sure to let me know in the comments. But a really fun card. We got some really interesting new takes on kind of old mechanics, which is really fun. First off, Super Duper Death Ray, the first spell with Trample. And this could actually be a mechanic I think could show up in the black border world. Basically, deals 4 damage to target creature. However, excess damage goes through to the spell's controller. So if you throw Super Duper Death Ray at a 1/1, you kill that creature, deal 3 to your opponent. Of course, if you kill a 4/4, you don't deal anything to your opponent. If you kill a 3/3, it would be dealing 3 to the creature, 1 to your opponent. So kind of like a weird take on a card like Searing Blaze or Searing Blood, but a really sweet mechanic. We also got Last Strike, which comes in the form of Extremely Slow Zombie, the perfect card for Last Strike. And Last Strike basically means it deals combat damage after creatures without Last Strike. So this can be problematic. The upside of Extremely Slow Zombie is you get a 3/3 for 2, which is a pretty good deal. That's like Watch Wolf territory. The downside is if your opponent blocks your Extremely Slow Zombie with a 3/3, you're going to lose your Extremely Slow Zombie because they're normal damage would actually kind of work like first strike damage because your zombie has last strike, so it's not going to deal damage till after everything else deals damage. So I expect that Extremely Slow Zombie will die a lot unless you can just keep getting hits in at your opponent because they don't have blockers. Because we have last strike, this enables triple strike, as we see in Three-Headed Goblin. A 3/3 for 5, but it has triple strike. So it deals first strike damage, it deals regular strike damage, and it deals last strike combat damage. So you can potentially hit your opponent for 9 damage. And that's not even counting pump spells. If you want to go crazy with this card, I imagine Blossoming Defenses, some equipment, can make this into one of the craziest threats you could ever imagine, because dealing damage 3 times is really, really, really powerful. So it's really cool to see not just crazy cards from out of nowhere, but these different takes on kind of existing mechanics with trample on spells, last strike, and triple strike. Next we got Hydra Doodle, which is kind of a weird take on a Hydra combined with a Doodle or a Hound. Basically just a really, really big beater. So 2 green and double X. So for 4 mana, you get 1 X basically. And for each X you pay, you get to roll a 6-sided die. And Hydra Doodle enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters equal to the total of your die rolls. So basically, if you can pay 4 mana, you get to roll a die. If you get a 1, you're getting a 1/1 for 4. That's horrible. If you get a 6, you're getting a 6/6 for 4. Not too bad, especially with reach and trample. The real power, though, is when you can roll like 3 dice for 8 mana, 4 dice for 10 mana, and then you have potential to get like a 24/24 if you get lucky with your dice rolls, or at least like a 12/12 or a 13/13. So it's a cool take on the typical X-Spell Hydra, combined with a little bit of dog action thrown in. We also got Druid of the Sacred Beaker, which is another Watermark Matters type. So tap sad mana for each Crossbreed Labs watermark among permanents you control. It itself has the watermark, so it's tapping for 1 as long as it's on the battlefield, but it can be tapping for 3, 4, 5 mana potentially. The sweet thing here is the creature type. Deer, bird, ape, druid, anything you could want in green. It's like all the most iconic green creature types mashed into one, so pretty sweet flavor card in that sense. Finally, our last card from the day, Side Quest. 1 mana. It makes target player in a silver bordered game you can see from your seat. So let's say the person sitting next to you, down the table from you, gain control of target creature you control until your next upkeep. And then for your reward for giving your opponent this creature for a turn or so is you get 2 +1/+1 counters on that creature, which makes it a little bit bigger. So it's a really cool idea. It seems like it's definitely ripe for abuse because it goes to your next upkeep. So if you have your friend playing next to you, you can just take a really long time with the rest of your turn. Maybe your opponent gets 2 or 3 turns out of the creature you give them to kill their opponent before it comes back. But it's a really cool way to manipulate the way Magic game usually works. So anyway, those have been our daily spoilers for Unstable for today. So what do you think? How much do you love Baron Von Count? Will your playgroup let you play it, or is it just too good to play in Commander or something like that? Who do you want to tutor up with better than 1? Who's the perfect teammate you can grab? What do you think about the crazy combined mechanics with Dr. Julius Jumbled Morph, multi-headed bot, Labrabot, monkey, kitten, adorable kitten, all that crazy stuff? By no means, what kind of counters do you want to add to things? How do you like first strike, last strike, trample on spells? Let me know what you think about this crazy set. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.